Hi friends, we're here to talk about my latest ebook, The Fingernail King, 20 Years of Life, Love, and Art in Waikiki Beach. I was working at a nonprofit in Denver, Colorado, and I was totally broke. I had never really had a job, and I didn't know anything about the real world of money. So one day we got a letter from Hawaii, and there was a guy there who was teaching yoga classes, and he wanted someone to replace him, and he offered a free place to stay and a job working in a halfway house in exchange for teaching a few yoga classes for free. But I wound up taking that job, and I landed in Hawaii a couple weeks later with a tattered suitcase, an old guitar, and barely enough money to stay alive. The year was 1976. I was 29 years old, and I was looking for an adventure in paradise. My plan was to stay in Hawaii for a few months and save up enough to rent an apartment back in California. That turned into living in Hawaii for 33 years. So much for plans. Social work wasn't my cup of tea. I wasn't trained for it. It just wasn't something I wanted to do. So I applied for a job in Waikiki that turned into working in a shop painting fingernails for tourists with Hawaiian scenes. And all of a sudden, I was a businessman. There were people lined up every night wanting to get this done. And for the first time in my life, I had a few dollars in my pocket, and I was very happy. Waikiki Beach was very quaint when I first worked there. I worked in an open-air market with koi ponds and banyan trees, and now it's all gone. The old Waikiki that was there in the 80s has changed very much with high-rise buildings, a lot of steel and glass, and it's just not the same anymore. But at least in this book, you can get a taste of what it was like. I was trained as an illustrator, but I never really had a chance to illustrate a whole book before. Now I've illustrated 3, and I was my own boss, so I could pretty much do what I wanted. My sincere hope is that somebody, maybe many people, read this book and let me know what you think. I appreciate any reviews. It's on Amazon, it's on Barnes & Noble, it's on Apple Books, and pretty much anywhere ebooks can be found. It's also should be on some library apps as soon as it gets processed. I wrote this book for you, so I hope you enjoy it, and I'd love to hear some feedback. And I wish you all a very fond aloha.